Hello and welcome to the Art Museum of West Virginia University's Museum from Home series. We hope that you all are staying safe and well, and we are grateful to you for joining us here again today. For those of you from the Morgantown, West Virginia area, we have a special treat because today's video features a local artist. For those of you tuning in from further afield, we hope you enjoy this special glimpse into the rich visual art culture that we have here at West Virginia University. And I mentioned the university in particular because today's featured artist, Ben Freedman, was a professor here in the art department for over 40 years. He is actually a very important figure at our museum because we have a large collection of African cultural objects that he collected and that were donated by his estate. Likewise, works like the abstract Romare Bearden painting, currently on display in our exhibition Brilliant, also come from his personal collection. In addition to his work as an artist and collector, he was a talented teacher, famous for making incredibly detailed drawings and sketches on chalkboards to convey artistic concepts, and he was much beloved by his students. As an institution, we here at WVU are right now sorely missing those students who make this place so vibrant, and we thought it would be fitting to focus on an artist who was deeply committed to teaching at the college level. So, let's take a look at the painting in question. What do you see when you look at this work of art? Can you make out some buildings and bridges and hills? For those of you from Morgantown, do they look familiar? What you are seeing is actually a local scene. This painting was made in 1960, and the arches in the background on the left-hand side depict the second of 3 bridges that have spanned the Monongalia River connecting Morgantown and Westover. Now, if you don't recognize the scene, not to worry. The location might not be immediately obvious because Freedman has abstracted the landscape by using simple shapes like triangles, rectangles, and arches. This technique of breaking an image into its geometric parts was first introduced by the Cubists at the beginning of the 20th century, and many artists subsequently adapted and expanded upon it. For example, let's take a look at this painting called Castle and Sun from 1928 by Swiss artist Paul Klee. Do you see any similarities to Freedman's work? That's right! Here we can see the shapes of buildings made from triangles and squares. And if you look closely at the lower right corner, you can also see an arch like the one Freedman uses to form the shape of the Westover Bridge. Also like Freedman, Klee uses bright colors and a mixture of warm and cool tones in his composition. The big circular sun in Klee's piece is the only hint of the natural world. However, in the Freedman piece, we see more organic forms like the hills and river, interspersed with the rectangular and triangular buildings. So now that we've talked about some of these elements of Freedman's painting, let's think about how we can make a work of art inspired by it. First, choose your subject. Think about a building or set of buildings that is important to you, or where you enjoy spending time. I'm going to stick with a local landscape and abstract a version of Stewart Hall, which is the building here on WVU's campus where the university president and provost have their offices. It is also one of our most historic buildings. It is featured in a mural by Blanche Lazzell in the museum's collection, and it is comprised of all these awesome geometric shapes that will make it a little easier for a non-artist like me to reimagine. So as I look at this picture, I'm going to break it down into these shapes. You see there's a triangle here at the top, and then the main shape is a rectangle, some smaller rectangles, more triangles, and then these great arches that form the doorways. So now that I figured out the inspiration for my landscape painting and how I'm going to break it into shapes, I'm going to take a ruler and a black marker to outline my shapes. If you want to use watercolors to fill in the lines, make sure to use a waterproof marker like a Sharpie. I think I'm going to use pastels rather than paint this time, so I'm just going to stick with a regular washable marker. Then, once you have your shapes, you can start to color or paint them. Like Freedman, I'm going to use a mix of warm and cool colors, and I'm also going to add some organic forms. Stewart Hall is situated on this little rise of grass, so I'm going to put that there, and then I'm going to add a big sun, just like Klee. And there you go. Now, if you aren't in the mood to draw or paint, you could also do this as a collage with some construction paper shapes. Or you could use blocks to build a three-dimensional version. The great thing about blocks is they force you to think in terms of simple geometric shapes, and many of you may have a bin of them at home. We hope that you've enjoyed our look at Ben Freedman and his view of Westover, West Virginia. Likewise, we hope that wherever you are finding ways to stay connected to your community and to be inspired by the artistic possibilities around you. Goodbye for now, from my home to yours, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.